Hello everyone, we are doing addition polymers in this video. It's a small topic. So addition polymers may the polymerization happen due to addition reaction. Now we know that addition reaction happens in unsaturated compounds like alkenes, which have a carbon-carbon double bond. So all we need to know is if you are given the structure of a monomer, how do you draw the structure of the polymer? And if you're given the structure of the polymer, then how do you draw the structure of the monomer? So the idea behind addition polymerization is that if there is an alkene, suppose this is W, X, Y, and Z. So this is a monomer. Monomer matlab it's a single molecule which is existing by its own. It's a small, simple molecule. Now, zillions or many large number of these molecules will when get linked to each other, that forms one large molecule, very long chain molecule, which is polymer. So if I'm taking this molecule and I'm drawing this here, WXYZ, and the double bond is broken into single bond. So that gives a scope or a vacancy for adding more bonds to this carbon atom and this carbon atom. So the two carbon atom which had double bond between them now can have one more bond. Now what can this be bonded to? Another molecule of the same. So this can be bonded to another molecule of the same compound W, X, Y, and Z. Now this molecule also has a double bond. If that double bond breaks into single bond, this can further continue to have another molecule added to that. So W, X, Y, and Z. Again, this molecule double bond will break, and there can be more added one more molecule. Similarly, from here also I can add a molecule and so on. So the linking will go on and on and on. So this way, very large number of small molecules linked get linked to each other, get added to each other, and they form a long chain molecule which is polymer. So this is a part of the polymer. This is not the entire molecule because there can be thousands of more molecules, tens of thousands of more molecules which will still get added to the chain. So chain only becomes longer and longer. In this picture, I have shown you one, two, three, and four molecules. So I can say that this polymer ka structure is showing four repeating units. One repeating unit will include the atoms of one molecule of monomer. So here I have four molecules of monomer. So it's four repeating unit, but the molecule doesn't end here. As I said, it goes on and on to the left and to the right. Now, a few important things you should know is that if the question is asking about monomer, then make sure that you show a double bond between the carbon atom and do not show continuation. When the question is asking about polymer, then show a single bond only, do not show double bond. And show continuation because logically, only when the double bond breaks and the continuation happens, the polymer is made. So polymer will have continuation and not double bond. Monomer will not have continuation and will have double bond. Okay, so double bond only will break and give the scope for adding more molecules to it. So also sometimes the question asks you to write one repeating unit. So one repeating unit, matlab it's definitely of a polymer. Monomer cannot have one repeating unit. Monomer is one molecule. Repeating unit matlab something that is getting repeated. So it has to be part of the polymer because polymer may there is a repeating unit. So this is just enough. Repeating unit may again you show a single bond and show the continuation. Like iska one repeating unit if I have to show, I will just show one molecule WXYZ and show this is one repeating unit. Also, sometimes the question may you show bracket in the polymer, and you write N here. This bracket and the N ka structure you will write when the question is not specifying how many repeating units. So question just asks you to draw the structure of the polymer. Then this is okay. Note one more thing, that if the question says draw 3 repeating units and you draw this one, and instead of N you write 3, that is not accepted. So over here only the letter N will come, no number will come here. If they have asked you to write 3 repeating units, then you need to literally write this 1, 2 and 3 repeating units. This much portion you need to show. But this is a very common mistake. Okay. So you should know when to show the double bond between carbon atoms. Only in the case of monomer. Polymer अगर है तो double bond has to be a single bond. Now we will sometimes the question is ulta, like you have the structure of polymer and you have to draw the structure of monomer. Anyways, we'll see that from examples from the past papers. Now, if I have to draw the polymer of this monomer, all I have to do is that locate the 2 carbon atoms which have double bond between them. Listen to this carefully and only follow this. Okay, how much ever complex the molecule is, ignore it. Ignore the whole molecule and only focus on the 2 carbons which have double bond between them, which are here. Ignore the rest of the molecule. Okay, you have to redraw this structure which is compatible for the structure of the polymer. Now, how to draw the structure of the polymer? First, draw the 2 carbon atoms which have double bond between them, but show a single bond between them, because when the double bond breaks, only then the polymerization happens. So I have shown these 2 carbon atoms over here. Now these 2 carbon atoms have other bonds also. So these 2 carbon atoms may say, suppose this carbon atom will have 2 more bonds. One is to hydrogen, other is to hydrogen. So this is the carbon atom that I'm talking about. It has 2 bonds, hydrogen. So write both the hydrogens ka bond above and below. Do not write any bond horizontal. Do not write any bond here or here, because here the continuation will happen. Okay, the backbone will be formed here. The carbon-carbon chain will be formed there. So only in this line, only the 2 carbon atoms in the monomer which have double bond will come here. Nothing else will come in this line. Again, these 2 carbon atoms are these 2 carbon atoms which have double bond between them. Now, both the carbon atoms will have 2 more bonds. Like this is 1 bond, this is another bond. This carbon atom also has this bond and this bond. They will only have 2 bonds, obviously, because if the 2 carbon atoms have double bond, then they can have only 2 more bonds. 1, 2, 1, 2. They will not have third bond. Okay. So whatever is here, X, W, Y, Z, you will need to draw those atoms or a group of atoms above and below. So like this carbon atom, which is here, is bonded to 2 hydrogens. So I've written the 2 hydrogens there. Now this carbon atom, right hand side wala, is bonded to CH3 and CH3. So write CH3 and CH3. So remember that what I have done so far is that I have restructured this into this pattern where I have not shown any bond of the carbon-carbon double bond here and here. So no bonds here, because here the next molecule and the previous molecule will come. So if there are any bonds, show those bonds above and below. Above and below. This is very important. Now what you have drawn is 1 repeating unit. If you show the continuation, this is 1 repeating. If the question asks you to show 3 repeating units, okay, like here, draw a section showing 3 repeating units. Then all I need to do is that draw 2 more. So again, I will draw this CC. These 2 carbon atoms are again these 2 carbon atoms which have double bond. And hydrogen, hydrogen, methyl, methyl. 2 ho gaya. Then third I can draw here. Hydrogen, hydrogen, methyl, and methyl, and continuation. Okay, this is how you draw the structure of the polymer from the structure of the monomer. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, now here, this is the monomer. I have to draw 3 repeating units again. So first I will draw the structure of this. So rough way, if I have 2 carbon atoms, these are the 2 carbon atoms. So double bond between them. 3 hydrogen atoms and 1 chlorine, which means that this will have 3 hydrogen atoms and 1 chlorine. Okay. I have not shown any bond here and any bond here because other continuation hoga. Then all I need to do is that break the double bond into single bond. 1 repeating unit ho gaya. Draw 2 more repeating units. H, 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 Cl, one more. H, 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 and Cl. Okay, this is the 3 repeating units. Okay, let's do few polyethene is again ethene, the same thing. Ethene, same thing. Okay, I think IGCSE papers, but there are many. Okay, this is from IGCSE. The question says propene, polypropene. So propene first, we have already done as the first one. Propene matlab 3 carbon atoms and a double bond. So this is the structure of propene. If I have to draw the repeating unit, first take this double bond, carbon-carbon double bond to single bond, and then draw other atoms above and below. So this carbon atom has H and H. So I will not show this atom here. I will pull this down here. So H and H, and this carbon atom has H and here CH3. So H and CH3. Okay, this is one repeating unit, and then continue doing the same thing. Okay, now but1-ene, polymer of but1-ene. Okay, first I will draw but1 in the normal structure. But, 4 carbon atoms, 1-ene matlab double bond with carbon number 1. Two carbon atoms here double bond. Write down there a single bond. This carbon atom is here. This is bonded to hydrogen and hydrogen. So I will draw hydrogen and hydrogen. This carbon atom is here, which is bonded to hydrogen, and this bonded to C2H5. So hydrogen and C2H5. This is one repeating unit, and then you can draw 2 more. Okay, now there can be questions where they give you the polymer structure and ask you to draw the monomer. So we'll see the question on that. This is condensation, which is for HF. Okay, this is the structure of the polymer, and you have to show the structure of the monomer. So this is in fact the simplest one. Pick up any 2 successive carbon atoms, any 2 successive carbon atoms from this backbone. So this is a carbon chain which is backbone. Pick up any 2 successive carbon atoms. So I'm taking these 2. So ignore rest of the molecule. Only pick up those 2 carbon atoms and whatever is bonded to them. So this carbon-carbon bond, which in the monomer was double bond, so I'll write that single bond as a double bond. And then whatever is bonded to them, I will draw as H, CH3, CH3H. Okay, this is how you draw the monomer from the polymer. Right, so that's all about addition polymers. Condensation polymers, I will record a separate video because that comes in higher level.